record. Para may mahal. Okay. Now, again, current. To know current, you just have to count how much electrons or kung again, as I've said, kung i-term electrons na to, dagko mo kayo. So, how much charges are there present on that conductor with respect to time? Okay, but take note, charge is in terms of coulombs and time would be in terms of second. Okay, so the generic unit for current is coulombs per second. But we all know right now current is represented by the unit amperes. Okay, pero ang generic niya nga unit is coulombs per second. Okay, that is current. Next, arita sa voltage. Voltage is technically the force needed to move the electrons. Force. Okay? Sir, gano'n na force man ang voltage, sir. Now, if you can recall, the common term for voltage in physics is called EMF. EMF or electromotive force. Okay? So, muna generic nga term sa voltage. Bali di ay. Ang common nga term is voltage, ang generic nga term is electromotive force. From the name itself na ay force nga term. Okay? So that's why na-read the force needed. Sa Bisaya pa, ang voltage mo na ang motod sa electron. Siya mo imotod sa electron para mo-move, para mudagan sa electron. Di man na pwede nga sa electron, mudagan na giyahan. Okay, it cannot move by itself. Therefore, voltage will be the one in charge of moving the electrons. Okay? So, the higher the voltage, the higher the force that will be involved in pushing the electrons. The lower the voltage, hinera sa gayo ang pag-push sa electrons. Okay? So, force. Of course, when it involves force, it involves energy. Okay? You're going to spend energy if there's force. Therefore, to determine voltage, you need to know how much energy is expended in every amount of electrons moved. So pila ka buok, pila may energy nga imuhang na-expend or imuhang nagamit para lang ma-move ang inana kadaghanan nga electrons. But we all know, again, energy is in terms of joules and charge is in terms of coulomb. So this is the generic unit for voltage, joules per coulomb, or more commonly known as volts. Okay? And lastly, you have resistance. So resistance is in terms of the unit ohms. Okay? You already know, resistance is the property of a material that resists the flow of electrons. Resists. Okay? Now, wag po kakasabot unsay role sa current, voltage ug resistance. Okay, ang pinakadali nga pamaagi pag-explain ana is this way. Okay? I have here a conductor, for example. Okay? So inside my conductor mo ni si current nag-swimming. So, nag-swimming na si current diha. Okay? Kasi siya may sud sa conductor. This will be current. Asa man si voltage? Si voltage mo ay motod ni current. Okay? So mo ni si voltage. Yang itud si current para mo-move si current towards the direction. For example. May pa. Busog na kayo. Nahaya. Man na magkao. Okay? Asa man sa resistance? Ari diri sir, diri nagpugong ni current. No. Okay, kung naa diri sa resistance, di ginaka-move si current. Okay? Sa resistance lang diri. Ato lang ning erase. Okay? Okay, erase ko na. Then let's say nigamay ang agianan lang, for example. Nigamay ang agianan. Ngano nigamay ang agianan? Naman diri sa resistance. Siya mo responsible nga nigamay ang agianan, iya nang hiktan. Okay, gipagamya niya ang agianan para maglisod ang kinabuhi ni current. So this is basically what is current, voltage, and resistance. Charog, di gyapon kasabot. Stickman na akong pang elementary na akong gibuhat na drawing. Okay, charog, wag gyapon kasabot ha. So that is the role of current, voltage, and resistance. Okay. Next. Ohm's law. Of course, if mag-abot na silang tulo, si current, voltage, and resistance, okay, there is a law called Ohm's law. The definition of Ohm's law states that current is directly proportional to its voltage, but inversely proportional to its resistance. Or in terms of formula, I is equal to V over R. Okay? Kay directly proportional man sa voltage but inversely proportional sa resistance. Okay? Or from this formula, we can just we can just rearrange this to become V equals IR. Or also, we can rearrange this to R is equal to V over I. Okay? Now, what if? What if there's a question nga, which among the following is Ohm's law? Nya ang choices ni mo kay. Choices would be letter A, kani. Letter B, kani. Letter C, kani. And letter D would be all of. Basta all. Okay? Sana all. What's my answer? A, B, C, or D? Again, ang question is, which of the following is Ohm's law? Asa my answer? A, B, C, or D? Sige daw, kindly answer daw. Ligawas na ba na sa board exam? Answer is?
D.
Letter D?
C.
Letter C. Wala A o B diha. Nana may C o D. Sige, letter A. Letter A. A. B. Online sabo. Okay, sige, no? Answer is, answer is letter A. Sino nga letter A man? Sino nga, pwede man sad ang letter B, pwede man sad ang letter C. Okay? Now, the answer should be based on the definition. Okay? Mauna, basihan gini mo sa definition. Now, what this means is, any law kana ay equivalent formula. If mangutana gani no, if mogawas nga kadaghan na ra ba gini ni gawas, dili lang kay sa EE, naa sa ubang law nga gipangutana sa ubang mga courses pod. Mangutana gani nga which of the following is this law. Okay? You should recall the definition. Ayaw gyud basihi ang formula. Kay pwede man na nimo ma-rearrange ang formula. Okay? Pero ang main definition, di yun na mausab. So, recall ang definition. Okay? Kanumdum ka, ang definition inani man to. So, base sa definition, diha din pangita, unsa ang equivalent formula, base sa definition. Inana na siya. Okay? So, any law, law man na sa mechanical, sa civil, sa electrical, okay? Appeal naman mo chemistry, no? Kaya naamte chemistry nga subject, appeal na siya niya. Siyempre, naamte kita yung mga law sa chemistry nga na equivalent formula. Always recall the definition. Ayaw basihi, unsa gito'y formula nga mong ipanggamit, ha? Ayaw, inumdumi gito ang definition. Kana mo'y basihi para sa answer. That's why for this one, answer is letter A. Because of the definition itself. Take note na porma ni si letter B o si letter C, tungod ni letter A. Kung wala ni si letter A, okay, wala ni si letter B, wala sa na si letter C. Yung si letter A sad, wala sa na si letter A kung wala si definition. Okay, so you have to always be aware of what you are looking for, no, or what you are reading. Okay, analyze and understand properly what you're reading. Okay, no? So for this one, at least na mo'y idea. Okay, erase. Okay, sa dami pinakuha ko din. Okay, no? So that is one of the very basic question pero daghan kay marong. Okay? Bisan dili pa na sa EE, bisan pag salain pa na nga no? Bisan pag law pa na sa lain nga kurso, daghan yung kay marong. Okay, next. Power. Okay? Since naa naman tayo voltage, na tayo current, na tayo resistance, unsa dining power? Power is basically the rate in doing work. Work involves energy. Rate involves time. That's why power is energy with respect to time. Rate man. So how much energy you have expended with respect to time? So for energy, that would be in terms of joules. For time, that would be in terms of second. Formula for power will be just voltage times current. Now, anong voltage times current raman? Anong simple raman kayo ang formula sa power? It's because if you can recall, the basic unit for voltage is joules per coulomb. The basic unit for current is coulomb per second. Cancel out ang coulomb, ang mahibilin joules per second. which is basically the generic unit for power, joules per second. That's why voltage times current, inana lang kasimple ang formula for power. Okay? Or, we already know the common unit for power is watts. Okay, so that is power. Next. Oh, rin na ta sa connection, series connection. Series connection, the loads are connected from end to end. Sir, nga nung load imuhang term, nga resistor lagi ni sir. Now, I'm using the word load. It's because dili mo kay resistor lang ang naa sa imong circuit. Okay, there are lots of other elements sa imong circuit. Isa lang ang resistor. That's why I'm using the word load. So, di pasabutan ng load. Load is any equipment that consumes electricity. For example, laptop, TV, cell phone. Okay? Any that consumes electricity can be considered as load. Resistance, mo consume na siya og electricity, that's why it's considered as load. Okay? Dali lang kayo pag-explain sa series connection or parallel connection o guban pa na diha kung gamitan na itong resistors. Okay, na series connection, the loads are connected from end to end. Okay, that's why it's called from end to end. It's because this end of this resistor is connected to the other end of the resistor R2. And now the other end of the resistor R2 is connected to the other end of resistor R3. Okay, and so on and so forth. Now, let's say, for example, what if, let me give you an example. What if I have here a resistor, let's say, na ako resistor dere, let's say resistor R4. Okay. Question. Series pa ba gihapon si R1 ug si R2? Yes or no? Again, question. Series pa ba gihapon si R1 ug si R2? Yes or no? Sige daw.
Yes, sir.
Answer is yes. Walay no diha? Ah, no, siguro ang answer ka na ngayta man og no si sir. Okay, kinsa may magno? Mura ba na kung unsa gipangita sa maestro? Ah, mo siguro na answer kay kuan man mo may gipangita. Okay, the question nga series pa ba gihapon si R1 ug si R2? The answer is no. Sure, sir. Okay, now these are the usual, no, the usual nga malibgan. Okay, the usual misconceptions of series connection. Okay, usual misconceptions. First, basta straight, series na na. Answer is no, dili straight. Okay? Another misconception sa series, basta kay makapili lang ko og connected nga mga resistors. For example, na ako laing resistor dere, let's say R5. Okay, basta kay mapili lang na ko ning R1, R4, or R5, makonect lang na ko na silang tulo, okay, series na na. Dili sad. Okay? As long as makapair lang ko sir R1 ug R4, okay, pwede series na na. Dili gihapon. Okay? Now, sa magide ang series sir? Okay, daghan ka na no, daghan ka nag basic misconception sa series. Mo na nga mag-review jud ko. Okay? Now, unsa magide ang series? Ang series connection dapat end-to-end gihapon pero dapat sila rang duha ang connected. For example, R2 ug R3. Dapat sila rang duha in between nilang duha. Okay? Dili pasabot nga sir, naaman si R1 diri sa pika side. Sa point sa ilahang connection, sila ra yung duha, walay ikatulo. For example, this one, si R1 ug si R2. Dapat sila ra yung duha para ma-consider na sila series. Naaman si R4, dili na pwede. Okay? Kung dili gyapon kasabot, ani ay mas dali kini masabtan no, kung relate sa lablab. Okay, dali jud na masabtan basta relate sa lablab. Okay, sa love story. Now, imagine si R2 ug si R3 sa ilahang point of connection mura na sila holding hands while walking. Holding hands while walking. Di ba di ka ganahan nga naay ikatulo nga kamot nga mogunit? Di ba ganahan ka kamurang duha naggunit tayo no, holding hands while walking. Di ba? Mo na no, makatubag na din kasi mong uyab ron. Ba ka babe? Right now we are series connected. Ana na mong loves no, ika bright sa kong uyab na ay nakatunan sa klase. Okay. So holding hands while walking, dapat sa point of connection there is no other connection present. bisan pag sa lain nga part or the other part sa imong resistor na bisag apa na siya line connection diha basta kay sa ilahang point of connection between the two of them wala. So series na sila. Okay? So mo na point sa series connection. Sample this one, si R1 ug si R2 dili na sila series kay naamay ni sausaw dere. Naamay third party. Okay? Now, move on sa ka nga si R1 ug si R4 sir. Basta kay maka pili lang kog duha series na dili gihapon. Again, holding hands while walking. So you cannot say nga series si R1 ug si R4 because naa si R2. So meaning dai sir, pwede di ay ma-series connection bisag dili straight? Yes. Okay? Sample kani. Kani akong resistor niya kana. O series na silang duha. Bisan pag dili na sila straight, basta kay ang point of connection between nilang duha is sila ra yung duha, walay lain. Okay? Always recall holding hands while walking. Okay? So, inana ang series ha. So, daghan jud kay masayupan na. Again, common misconception of series connection. Basta kay straight. Kana gid pinaka number 1 nga may common misconception basta kay straight. Pwede ganino, nanion ako. Nanaon ako. Sir, parallel na sir. Dili series gihapon na. Again, it's because ang point sa ilahang connection sila ramang duha. So series na. Okay? Now, take note. It's called series connection because we're going to base it on the word connection. Okay? Ayaw basihi sa purma. Okay? Kaya ang purma kay straight man series na. So that's why it's not called series formation. Okay, because we're not going to base it on the form. We're not going to base it on the formation. That's why it's called series connection because we're going to base it on the connection itself. Okay? So again, holding hands while walking. Okay, next. Okay. What are the characteristics? Recall ta sa characteristics sa series connection. Erase. Recall the characteristics of series connection. You have, for the total resistance, sum up lang. For the current, equal tanan. For the voltage, summation lang. Okay? And for the power, I believe some of you here, wala gi-discuss ding power sa kung ano, characteristics for series connection. For power, if you want to know the total power, summation lang. Ipang-add up lang ta ng power, then that is the total power of the circuit. Okay? That is series connection. Now, naatay, gitawag nga voltage division theorem. Now, voltage division theorem is a theorem related to series connection. So related to series connection is because this voltage division theorem is only applicable to two loads in series only. So it's only applicable to series ra gyud. Nya duha ra pa gyud. Dapat sila rang duha para ma-apply nimo ang VDT or voltage division theorem. Now what's with voltage division theorem? Okay? Technically, voltage division theorem is a shortcut. Shortcut if you want to determine the voltage in every resistor. Nganong makonsider man siya nga shortcut sir? It's because usually ang circuit, okay, usually no, if you have a given circuit, usually ang given ang resistance o ang supply voltage. Diba? Kasagarang circuit nga ihatag is naa kay supply voltage nga let's say 220 volts, na kay mga resistances. Mura na kasagarang ihatag. Now, what if you want to solve for the voltage sa resistor R3 or resistor R2? Ano? You don't need to, di ba? If you want to solve, some days, usual nga pamaagi pag-solve sa voltage. Di ba? Voltage V is equal to I times R. If I want to solve for voltage V2, dapat kailangan na ako'y current sa resistor R2 and the resistance. Obviously, dali ra ang resistance, kay given na naman na. Pangitaon pa nimo ang current I2. Okay? Pero using VDT, sige, marag na ay message. Ay, nawa na sa may. Nawa na sa di ako ang internet connection. Oh, day. Brown out? Ay, pagtaro mo, ay, makurutas ito ng brown, sir, brown na muad. Tabi, asa naman ito? Hi. My goodness. Balik na rin. Madawag pa ba ko ninyo? Nawa ba akong internet connection?
Madungog yun, sir.
Oh.
Congrats, sir.
Makurutan dyan ta sa Sir Brown ang mo address. Ay, Ginoo. Tala na tahil. Balik na dali. Okay. So, no? Usually, if you want to solve for voltage, you need pa the current. So, ang voltage division theorem, you don't need the current na, no? So, naaraman kay resistance, you also have the voltage supply. You can directly solve for the voltage using the formula V total times R1 over R1 plus R2 if you want to solve for V1. Or if you want to solve for V2, you can just use the formula V total times R2 over R1 plus R2. So that's why I've said this is just a shortcut. As you can see, almost the same rin sila, no? If you want to solve for V1, use R1. If you want to solve for V2, use R2. Okay? Naana lang. Okay? So shortcut rin siya. Okay? That is voltage division theorem or VDT. Next, parallel connection. Okay? Kung saan say naa sa parallel connection. Basically, the loads are connected across each other. Okay? So, across, meaning sa iyang atbang. Okay? Now, when you draw the parallel connections like this, no, you have here R1, R2, R3, Rn, connected ritanan. Now, same gyapon. Common misconception of parallel connection. That is, basta kay parallel og porma. For example, what if na ako resistor diri dapita? Let's say R4. Makonsider pa ba nga parallel si R1 ug si R2? Answer is no. Okay? Nga naman. Again, do not base your judgment ka sa forma, no, sa forma. Base it on the connection. That's why it's called parallel connection, because you're not going to base it on the formation. Okay? Just because parallel man og form ang imuhang duha ka resistor, parallel na dayon, parallel connection na. No. The basis for parallel connection is both ends should be connected. Okay, mo na basis sa parallel connection. Sa series, basta kay ang usa lang ka part, okay? Brown out. Sige lang ninyo ay gabalaka. Ako lang ni siyang message lang, no? Or pwede na sa inyo nang i-message diha. Okay lang, wala problema sa ako, maka-view ra siya balik sa recorded discussion nga akong i-upload. Okay? Balik na dali. Again, ang basis for parallel connection is both ends should be connected. Ang katong series, okay, ang katong sa series, ang usa lang ka end, dapat sila rang duha. So for this one, dili na ma-consider nga series si R2 ug si R3. Kadili man kay sila rang duha, naa may lain dere, naa sila lain dere. Okay? Pero sa parallel connection, dapat both ends should be connected. Bahalag na pa na ilain nga connections diha. Okay? Bahalag na pa na daghang saw-saw diha, basta kay importante kani nga ends connected sila. Let's say for example, naa na line connection diha. Ana, padong diha. Okay, here naa po line connection diha, padong diha. Wa na problema as long as ang pinaka-importante connected silang duha, both ends. San pag inaani na pagka-connect. Okay, no? Ana. Okay? Bahala pag naa pa na line connection diha. Ang importante silang duha connected on this end. Both ends connected. Mo na importante sa parallel connection. Okay? Again, therefore, ang formation niya dili na importante. So pwede di ay nga inani, no? Dili parallel og porma. For example. Okay? For example, inani. Okay? No? For example, inani. New team. Added you. Saan naman sad ni? Ay, kadaghan na magtrabaho una to. Sample inani, no? Let's say RX, RY. Okay? Saan yung replyan ba kay? Uy kayo. Okay, RX, RY. Ma-consider ba nga parallel? Answer is yes. It's because both ends connected sa RX ug RY. Let's say this one. This part connected silang duha. Nya this part, kaya mo sabayon, gikan dere, padong diha, nya padong dere, uy, connected lang gihapon. So they can be considered as connected lang gihapon sa dere nga end. Nya dere nga end connected silang duha. So therefore parallel di ay ni si RX ug si RY. Okay? So ina na ha. It doesn't mean nga kay parallel og porma, parallel na dayon. For example, ginani na ko pag-connect. Can you say nga parallel silang tulo? Answer is no. Okay? More likely, ang connection nila is series. So, series ni siya. Okay? Kasi sila ramang duha. Series din silang duha. Okay? Wala may laing connection. Therefore, silang tulo is series connected. Okay? So, dili na siya magbase sa purma ha. Kay parallel mo purma, parallel connection na yan, dili. So, take note, both ends are connected. Okay? Both ends should be connected. So muna nga si R1 ug si R2 dili na parallel if na ay R4 diri. Yes, connected diri nga part, pero on this side dili na kay naa naman si R4. Okay? So muna basis para sa parallel connection. Okay? Now, what are the characteristics of parallel connection? Okay, erase. Characteristics of parallel connection. You have here, if you want to solve for the total resistance, mo ni ang formula. Okay? And then for the total current, this time we're going to add up everything. Summation na ang current. Okay, recall kay sa series connection, ang current is equal. Okay? Here for parallel, ang voltage has now become the constant part. So, any resistor diha equal na gyud na ang voltage niya sa imong source. Okay? So recall sa series, ang voltage will be summation. And lastly, for power. Power for parallel connection is just summation. Uy, kabantay mo? Ang power, total power series is summation lang. Yung total power po sa parallel, summation lang gihapon. What does that mean? It means whether it's series or parallel, parehas sila ang formula. So, it's not dependent. Ang total power, okay? Ang total power dili dependent sa imong connection. Whether it's series or parallel, i-sum up para na kanan. Okay? In short, sample no, you want to know the total power sa imong room. Pila may total power connection, pila may total power absorption sa ako ang room. Okay? Ay nagkabalaka kung naa ba na series or parallel diha? No. Ay nagkabalaka ana, just determine the power in every equipment na ipang-add up na kanan. Mao nay total power sa imong room. Again, it's because ang total power is not dependent on whether it's series or parallel connected. Okay? So, mo na siya characteristic sa parallel. Then, you have current division theorem. Again, just like VDT, ang current division theorem, shortcut ra po di siya nga applicable only for resistors in parallel. Okay? So, no, okay ba ning tayo? So, mo na siya ang direct formula sad, no? So, you can directly solve for the current I1 by using the formula I total times R2 over R1 plus R2. Nya, I2 is equal to I total times R1 over R1 plus R2. Okay? Now, if you can recall, ang shortcut formula sa VDT, V1 equals V total times R1 over R1 plus R2. Okay? Ang V2 is V total. Paamsa nga itong gilingkuran ni. V total times R2 over R1 plus R2. So you can see, maumaorog og porma, no? Maumaorog porma sa formula. Pero if you want to solve for voltage, V total imong gamiton. Okay? If you want to solve for current, I total imong gamiton. And take note, if you want to solve for V1, R1 diri. If you want to solve for V2, R2 diri. Pero sa CDT, opposite. If you want to solve for I1, R2 ka. Okay? If you want to solve for I2, R1 ka. Okay? Opposite siya. Sir, kailangan ba gyud ni naman makatunan ang CDT o VDT? Technically, dili naman gyud kailangan, no? Okay? Kaya again, shortcut naman ni siya. Makatabang lang sa inyo. Okay? So, dili gyud necessary. So, these are just shortcut formulas. Kaya naman gyud uban nga naagyoy mga problems nga masolve ra using VDT directly. Or nasa mga problems nga masolve ra using CDT directly. Pero majority, this is just a shortcut lang. So dili gid necessary nga mabaw-an gid ninyo by heart. Okay? So dili gid necessary. So you have there your theorem para sa parallel, which is current division theorem. Okay? Now, manatag series, manatag parallel. Of course, ari na ta sa combination. Series parallel combination. Na unsaon man na sir ang series parallel combination. Now, ang series parallel combination, wala ni siya formula. Okay? You're just going to use characteristics sa series circuit o characteristics sa parallel circuit. Okay? Hinumdumi lang to. Now, how are you going to solve this one? To solve this, the series parallel combination, okay, ang technique lang ana is slowly simplify your circuit. Saan mo nang slowly simplify your circuit, sir? Pasabot ana, kung naa kay makit-an nga series, unaha sa naog combine. Kung naa kay makit-an nga parallel, unaha sa naog combine. Ayaw dunga na tanan. Or ayaw ka usaha. Okay? Kung naa kay makit-an nga series, o you start with that. Kung naa kay makit-an nga parallel, o you start with that. Okay na lang. Then iguman na redraw your circuit. Kaya mausap na magina yung circuit, iniguman mo combine. Redraw your circuit, then look at the new circuit. Okay? Kung series parallel combination gyapon as usual, simply kuan lang. Start with naabay parallel diha o naabay series niya. Ano lang gid no again, ang yaring technique is slowly simplify your circuit until mahimo na lang siyang basic series or basic parallel. Kana. Okay? So for this one, okay no kani. How are we going to solve this one? Mas dali ni siya kung inanion na to. Okay, how are we going to solve this one? Okay. Pagdami na ni Beda ko. Okay. Okay, gani. So how are we going to solve this one? Again, slowly simplify. Start sa ka naabay series or naabay parallel. For example, this one, this circuit, naabay series ani? Okay, basic ha, naabay basic series connection ani? Answer is no.
Wala.
Sir, si kuan day sir, si 5 og si 10 day sir, or si 5 og si 6 day sir. So again, dapat sila rang duha. Si 5 og si 10, dili pwede kay naa si 6. Samo si 5 og si 6 kay naa pud si 10, dapat sila rang duha. So walay basic series diha. How about parallel connection? Okay? So you can see, oy, naa sir si 10 o si 6. Not because parallel og forma, but because parallel ang connection niya. Both ends are connected. Okay? So recall the basics. So for this one, oy, naman ko parallel, I will start here. So kung asay pwede nimo masugdan, di sugod diha. Sige, I will combine this first. I will call this RA. So for my RA, that would be 1 over 10 plus 1 over 6. Okay? Therefore, my RA will become, wala man akong calculator. Okay, so that would be 1 over, okay, 1 over 10, then plus 1 over 6 equals 15 over 4. So my RA is 15 over 4. Then after that, kung sabi boto na mo sir, oh, mausab naman eh. This will change because you have combined this one already. So, you redraw your circuit. When you redraw, of course, the supply will still remain and the 5 ohm resistor will still remain. So, let's say, for example, this will be my supply. Okay. And then my 5 ohm resistor. Okay, nagpabili na. Pero this becomes a single resistor already. Single resistor na lang na. RA. Then 5 ohms. Okay? So as you can see, pagumban, oy, simple na lang siya nga series. Let's say for example, what if this circuit lets us solve for the total resistance? So that way, our total resistance there is just 5 plus RA. Or this is just 15 over 4 plus 5. Answer is 35 over 4. Or in terms of decimal, this is 8.75 ohms. Okay? So you have your, for example, kung our total mo ganyan yung pinita. Inanara ang technique sa series parallel combination. Okay? So yun ra kayo no? So yun ra kayo circuit. So yun raman sa kayang circuit. O sige. Atong i-complicate gamay. O kana. Managhana na. So complicate na to gamay. Saan mo ito kong sniping tool? Aha. Sige, let's solve this one. Let's say for example, mao gihapon. Let's solve. Lang. So don't worry, ako ra ning i-save. Ako ning i-save as PDF niya. Ako ra ning i-upload sa MS Teams channel na to. Okay. Gamyon tani. Kadako ra kayo. Okay. Sige, for this one. Let's say, for example, I want to solve for the total resistance of this circuit. Sige, how to solve? Okay, again, slowly simplify your circuit. Focus first, naabay series niya, naabay parallel. Okay, first question, naabay series niya? Answer is yes. Asa man? Okay? Diretso na to, no? Okay. Kailan naman lang itong, saan naman itong last? Pit alas dos. Okay? So you have here, series na kay si 4 o si 5, niya si 5 o si 6. Kay sila ramang duha, si 4 o si 5. Si 5 o si 6, sila ramang duha. So meaning series ni si 4, 5 o 6. So si 1 o si 4 di ay. So again, dili kay, basihan nimong ka-straight siya. Okay, take note, holding hands while walking. Mo ginahinumdumi. Mo ginahinumdumi, basta series holding hands while walking siya. Holding hands while walking. So dali kay makarelate ang katong mga naayab. Okay? Ang katong mga kachat-chat lang, di ka-relate. Kachat naman. Wala may holding hands while walking na hitabo. Okay? Katong mga fling-fling, mga char-char, depende kung nagkita ba mo or wala. Kung naka-holding hands while walking mo, okay ra. Kung wala, chat-chat ra gyapon, wala gyapon gamit. So may pass si series circuit na apay relasyon. Ikaw wa. Okay. Ay paninood ya, sir. Okay. So for this one, yes, na ay series circuit. So 5, si 4, 5, ug 6. How about parallel, sir? Naabay parallel connection diha? Answer is no. Sir, si 2, si 5 di ay, sir. Parallel man og porma. So again, do not base it on the formation. Take note, basics for parallel, both ends are connected. No, diri nga end, dili na connected. Di ba? Na si 4. Dili pod nga end, samot na si 6. So dili day na parallel. Okay? So again, you start with kung unsay naa. Sige, since naamon si 4, 5, ug 6. Let's start with this one. Sige, I will call this, let's say R1. So kung R1, series na. So you will have 4 plus 5 plus 6. This is 15 ohms. Ikaw man na sir sa ibuhaton. Again, redraw your circuit. Okay, okay, makumbay naman eh. Sige, redraw circuit na kay 1. 2 ohms will still remain. 3 ohms again will still remain. Okay, so supply na to. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Then this one, this will become a single resistor na lang. Sir, asa man siya may butang? Sir, there is babaw, there is sa kilid, or there is sa ubos? It's up to you. Basta kay, siya na lang usa. So, pwede, diha babaw. Okay, pwede na. Or, pwede sa, there is sa kilid. Or pwede sa, there mo ibutang sa ubos. It's up to you. Basta kay, it is only a single resistor left. Sige, this is R1. Next, what you're going to do? Okay? Look again, is there series or is there parallel? As you can see here, oy, parallel sir. Si 2 ohms. Patungos mo ng color. Si 2 ohms ug si R1 sir parallel. O sige, that will be your next target. Let's call this R2. So R2 would be 1 over 2 plus 1 over 15. So this is 30 over 17. Okay? Ito para sure. Okay, okay. Dito ang tanibi. 15 og 2. Okay, 30 over 17. Okay. So next, mo na ang R2. Sige na, redraw na sad. O sige, redraw. So, what will be left this time from the original circuit is just 1 ohm na lang og ang 3 ohms. Okay? So, 1 ohm. Okay? Then, si 3 ohms. Nagya po na ito ang supply. Okay? Then, this one, single resistor na lang ni. This is R2. Okay? So, from the question nga, pila ang total resistance, your total resistance will become 1 ohm plus R2 plus 3. Okay? Or that is 30 over 17 plus 4. Okay, so plus 4 kay 1 ug 3 man. So that is 98 over 17. Our total is 98 over 17. Or that is in terms of decimal, that is 5.76 ohms. Okay? So far, any question regarding this example? Mga pangutana, mga gikalibgan. Wala ra? Sure ha? Nga nakasabot ra mo. Huwag mo nangatog diha. Sure gyud ha nga why nangatog. Okay, nangaon man gani nakasabot ra. Importante nakasabot, bahalag nag-snack mo diha. Nag-email mo diha, basta kay nakasabot mo sa ako ang gi-explain dere. Okay. So, okay. So kung wala, sige. Oh, murag na ay ni Daday. So mo na inana na day pag-solve the series parallel combination. Now, to check nakasabot ba gyud? To check nakasabot ba gyud? I will be leaving you with an assignment. Ang assignment is naara sa last part sa notes. Sharing! Uy, sir, unsa man na sunuin na naman nagatakilid. Na naman ay diagonal, sir. Now, again, ayaw mo pahadlok sa forma because we're not going to base it on the formation, but we're going to base it on the connection. So, ay kahadlok ka na gatakilid, no? Kanang mga diagonal, ay kahadlok ka na, eh. Kung na, saywar-saywar na. So, same gihapon, solve for the total resistance. Pero na ako'y usbon. Sige be. Aha. Asa naman itong snip nila? Kuning ibalihin. Copy. Yan. Ari be. Okay. Siya. Okay. Solve for. Okay. Solve for the total resistance. Hoy. Feeling anong resistance noon. Puing na. Okay. Solve for the total resistance. Pero, na ako'y usbon. This will not be 8 ohms. Okay? How about kung hindi tayo white na color? Uy, hindi ko kapili og white na color. Yan lang, no? Dili ni 8 ohms. I'm going to change this. Dili ni 8 ohms. Dili sad ni 6 ohms. Okay? Dili sad ni 5 ohms. Subon ko ni. Himuon ko ni, I will call this D1 ohm. This one, I will call this D2 ohm. And I will call this D3 ohm. Now, what is with D1, D2, and D3? Okay. Note. D1, D2, D3, okay, are the last 3 digits, okay, of your ID number. Okay? Example, ang ID number is 12, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. For example, muna, ang D1 will be 7 ohms. Okay? D2 will be 8 ohms. D3 will be 9 ohms. Okay? Sir, what if na ay 0, sir? Okay. Also, okay? Covered na tanan. Okay, may na kay kuani basahin nani. Also, if okay, ID number has 0, then change to 10. Meaning ang imuhang 0 is equivalent to 10. Okay? For example, kung 709 ni, ang imuhang dito will not be 0 but instead mahimong 10 ohms. Okay? In ana, This way, ma-make sure na to nga naamoy inyuhang solution. Naamoy inyuhang answer. Okay? Kay kung ato na tong ipabilin tong ganiha, parehas ra mong data tanan, ay usa ra na source, oy. Magpaabot ra mo picture sa solution. Okay, usa ra ka book source ana. Okay? This way, even if parehas ra mo og solution, pero okay, mapugos gyud mo og solve on your own, kay lain-lain man mo og given. Muna importante na ma-practice mo on your own. Any question? Mga pangutana. This will be your assignment number 1. Okay, deadline. Sa deadline, mag-post naman ko og submission page sa MS Teams. Ako lang ibutang dito ang deadline. Okay? Pangalan po dire. Usually, basta assignment. Okay? Usually, basta assignment, parehas lagyan po sa face-to-face. Okay? Deadline would be next meeting. So, next meeting would be Thursday, month 12 to 3. So, deadline would be, okay? Deadline on or before Thursday. Okay? On or before Thursday, 12 noon. Okay? Okay, now, kaning nga Thursday, this is September, hala, September 9 kay holiday. Aware man mo nung holiday September 9.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
May klase, sir, September 9.
Ngano gani sa gina September 9?
Serio Osmeña?
Osmeña, sir.
Ibjig ko ni mga bataan eh. Asa naman to akong kuan eh? Asa naman to ako ang revised collegiate calendar? Ay, dami naman 20 to 20. Amo ni, every day. 21, 22 man to nga calendar. Yarang. Okay, okay. Doy kay hinay. Saan yung laptop pa ni hinay ba? Or wa gid to ma. Dara. September 9, Dara. President Serious Menya Day. So, muli classic Thursday. So, in short, hala, oy, mo pa karon na ta nakadiscuss og kuan balik ahak na eh. September 14 ang deadline sa assignment. So, next September 14, discuss na sa tani. Okay, take note ang midterm 23, 24, 25. Dali ara sa midterm na gamay pa kita nga discuss. Kay kabalaka, papaningkamutan nga madagandaghan ang atong discussion. Kay para makuan mo no, mas daghan ninyo ang idea regarding security. Sure. Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Kanang 12 noon gihapon.
Ha?
Ang deadline inig September 14.
Oh, 12 noon gihapon. Okay?
Thank you.
This would be April naman hinuon na. Ano naman sa mga unang April eh? September 14. September 14. Ana, klaro na ha? Okay? Any other question? Save tanidaan. Naay mga pangutana? Guys, wala rin pangutana guys. Malira. Eh kung wala na yung mga pangutana, undang mo na tanay, maniud to na ko. Uy, paniud to. Ha?
Sa pag-solve, sir, baka pwede lahi ang way, ang solution.
Unsa sa?
Sa pag-solve sa assignment.
Lahi ang pamaagi. Wa ko'y problema na, no? Dili man gid necessary nga, di man gid pareha, dili man gid necessary nga parehas ra gid butanan. So naman gid lahi nga pamaagi. As long as makita nako nga valid gihapon na siya nga, valid gihapon na siya nga pamaagi.
Thank you, sir.
Ara na problema. There are many ways to kill a cat man. Okay? So kung wala rin mga pangutana, okay? Hopefully, thank you very much. No, thank you very much for attending this meeting. Hopefully, you have learned something new today. Hopefully. Okay? If you don't have any more questions, thank you very much. Goodbye and God bless.
Thank you, sir.